To die, to dream, to sheep no more. What's up, everyone? It's Bo here from the TVTalk podcast. And yeah, we've been dealing with our little sheep problem. And look, it's easy to think, hey, Bo, aren't you a hero? And in fact, the world's greatest hero? And don't heroes not kill? Well, here's the thing. I am half convinced these sheep are not actually sheep. The purple sheep in particular seem to just be here to, cause lag and problems. So I'm thinking we're dealing with alien sheep, which is, fine for some reason for heroes to kill. I don't know why, but apparently it is. We've decided that as a comic book, film, movie viewing audience. Or we're dealing with robot sheep. I can't tell. But regardless, it's an infestation and it has to be dealt with. So we have been dealing with the sheep. And I'm not sure who specifically put the sheep side up, but this is it's like a horror movie, really. Like right now we've got so many sheep. It's like invasion of the sheep up in here. But you know what's good for Gotham? Me. That's right. Me. I am actually really excited because, as I mentioned last week, we are going to be working on the City Hall, and really not just City Hall, but really providing some services for the BATCRAFTers in Gotham City to help us get what we need and really kind of help the city come together in a big way. Now, you've seen before, we've got kind of a P.O. box type system, but we need a full-on post office. And not only that, we also need to get ourselves something of a bank. We've got to keep the money somewhere safe. And it is on this little patch of grass that I will build our city hall. So I've been trying to go back and forth, like what makes the most sense? Do we put it up here with the corporate district, or do we put it, up here with the corporate district, or do we put it kind of down below underneath where it's more in line with the, the shopping district? And I really determined that the best thing to do is a little bit of both. So we are going to today, down below, start working on the post office. Full disclosure, I've actually already kind of built the bank. So unfortunately, I didn't get that recorded, but I'm about to show it to you right after this little quick time lapse. And you'll see what we're all working with. So yeah, let's jump into it and get working on the City Hall, basement, services, town services. Yeah, BATCRAFT. Here we go. Ta-da! And actually, so you'll notice we've actually moved the portal. Used to be over there, but now that this is kind of the centralized hub, it made sense to go ahead and move it. And so we'll walk right through and boom, here we are in the basement, or kind of the below area of what will end up being City Hall. And we have the Gotham Post Office. Now I'm really excited about how this turned out. As you can see, we've got everybody's kind of mailboxes here. Last season, there was a real desire so that you couldn't just open somebody's box and see all of their top secret mail. That was kind of a problem, especially as different people were, had little secret societies and things going on. And, that may be continuing here. I mean, after all, the League of Heroes is a secret society. And so we want a way to converse with our fellow heroes without anybody kind of rummaging through their mail. So this way, if you want to give somebody something, like, for example, let's say I wanted to give Belle this purple wool that I just so happened to have. Yeah, all those purple sheep, they ended up serving the city well in ways we didn't expect. Anyway, point is, let's just say that you want to use this purple wool and I wanted to send it to Belle. Well, rather than opening up his box and seeing what else he has there, I would just drop it here, as indicated by these arrows right here. Boom. And now he's got the mail and I don't have to go through his things. He's got his privacy and I'm still able to send him stuff. So is this totally secure? Absolutely not. We are on the honor system here at BATCRAFT, and that works out pretty well because we're all here to have fun, and the honor system has served us well thus far. That's why we're able to have shops, and nobody robs the shops. Although, well, okay, so nobody robs the shops, but admittedly, while I was working on the post office, I did kind of start running out of materials, and I didn't, just a little public service. Did start running out of materials, and I put an IOU. I put an IOU in here, mostly because I don't really know what's appropriate. Since we don't fully have kind of our city government together yet, I wasn't sure if I should use my own diamonds or if I should use city funds from, ta-da, the Bank of Gotham. Now, I love how this turned out. Like, so you got the kind of the big copper doors that are kind of just cracked open in the vault right here. And what I did was I took all of the diamonds that was in the bank, and as you can clearly see, I turned them into blocks, and I started just stacking them up back here in the Bank of Gotham. This is like a full stack. We're not like covering any like air pockets or anything like that. And the idea is that people come in, if they're buying any property, they can just add their blocks directly on. If there's any left over, we throw it in the chest, and that is how that works. Also, we can kind of use the ender chest as something of a little bit of an ATM here at the bank as well. So I think this is really good. I did put like a little crafting table up here. I probably need to remove all of the dirt and maybe like, make it a little bit more uniform. But for right now, this is the bank, and I didn't want to just take the diamonds without permission. I was using my own resources, so like most of this is my own resources, and it's not like I'm expecting any compensation for that. That's perfectly fine, but it did feel a little much to use my own diamonds for it. So I don't know. It's probably at the moment up to Fox, since we don't have a mayor to kind of determine that. But at the same time, maybe that's just another good excuse to, get a mayorship going. Oh, look at this. Bo for mayor, the right captain for this ship? That's right. So I know that my fellow hero Kyle has actually expressed a desire to run for mayor, but I kind of want to put my name in the running as well. Now, best of luck to Kyle and best of luck to anyone else. I would be shocked if, some of the other Flash crafters didn't, maybe put their name in the running at some point. But at the same time, I kind of want to give it a shot. And if I don't win, that's okay. But if I do, that would be cool as well. One way or the other, we do need some leadership coming in. Fox has done a great job, but it has been all on his head for the longest time. And so I think we need a little bit of assistance here. I don't really have a platform just yet, but that's okay. I think right now we need a voting booth first before we can really put together a platform, I think. And I do actually have a concept for a redstone voting booth that I think is going to work really cool. I'm still working out a little bit of the details, but it will probably be one way or the other up here. So let's talk about this real quick. My thought is there's been a lot of suggestions on what to do with the upper portion right here. And at one point I was thinking like, okay, well, we'll do offices on one side and a voting booth on the other, or maybe a voting booth over here since it's a little bit, I think, less space, and then the offices over here. And then some people, I think Will mentioned kind of it'd be cool if there was a clock tower in the middle, which does sound cool, except we're building a clock tower over here. A very legitimate clock tower that it's happening. It's getting made. Don't worry about it. It's there. This is a clock tower construction site. So yeah. Nothing else. Anyway, it is a good idea though. So we'll see what ends up happening. I was actually thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we kind of had like a kind of a twin towers type situation? We've got so many tall buildings here, and I don't know that these would be as tall as the others. I think there would be kind of a smaller thing. So that's something I've been considering. And then the other thing too is possibly doing either a courtyard right here. So not necessarily having anything in the middle, maybe a bridge that connects the two. I don't know. I'm still thinking through it. But my guess is, given the fact that we do need to make some big decisions as a group, for example, we've got people now that have expressed a desire to run for mayor, including myself, but we don't know that we really need a mayor. Like, we need to actually vote on that. And so the voting booth is going to be kind of crucial. I don't know if that's getting built this episode. Probably not. It's so close to being done. I have this cool idea where, like, when it hits all the way to the top, I want it like a light to glow and possibly like some fireworks to go off. And I'm just not there yet. I just haven't quite cracked the code. I am not a redstone genius by any stretch of the imagination. I am barely proficient with redstone. Like, I know it's red. I know it lights things up. I know that you hit a button and that sometimes you can make that do things. And that is about the extent of my knowledge. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. And speaking of things happening, we got to talk about this. Yeah, okay, first of all, I mean, there's a lot going on in the corporate district. For one thing, we've got Valenco's construction continues to be amazing with this awesome truck right here. You can see the construction is going very, very well. I'm really excited for what this building, what this project is turning into. Like, this is just absolutely amazing. I love what Knight is doing here, and it's exciting. He's just sitting back and having a little snack while everybody else is doing the work. That's funny. That's the foreman right there. That's funny. Okay. Yeah. So this is all great, but as you can see, it would appear that Fox, and I can't remember what Fox's company is named. I don't think it's like Sticks and Stones Co. or Incorporated or something like that. But it does appear that they have opened up some kind of black hole in Gotham City. Because, like, look, even like particles of their own building is being sucked into the black hole. And even some of the construction from Valenco is being like sucked into the black hole. This is a massive problem. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. You know, like, I started off this episode thinking that like our biggest problem was sheep. Sheep? No! Look at that thing! Oh man! And we thought Valenco was an issue because of sheep. Okay, well this is a problem. This is a problem. Now, of course, Fox is being monitored by Snow, and so I'm thinking that we might need to reach out and see if she happens to know anything about this. I think that's going to be important. I got to tell you, with some of the threats that are going on in Gotham, you know, we've got Ra's al Ghul, we've got the Riddler, you know, these are, and now we've got a giant black hole that's coming from Fox, who, you know, the original concern was he was turning green, but clearly this is much bigger than we may have ever realized. So this is getting real. It's getting very, very real up in this. So we're gonna have to check with Snow and see if she knows anything. I'm a little concerned there. But beyond that, I'm wondering if we are enough hero to be able to deal with this massive, massive problem. You know, I mean, this is Gotham City after all. Maybe our little League of Heroes is not enough to tackle the problems that can really only be handled by the Bat himself. And so, I don't know. I think we're getting very close to needing more than just women and men. I think we need Bat women and men. We need the Knight. We need vengeance. We need Batman. But we don't have Batman yet. We don't have Batman yet. We need to really get on that, don't we? Okay, it's getting real up in here. So it occurred to me that this wall, rather than just making it black stone or whatever these things, deep slate blocks, bricks, whatever they are, maybe rather than just kind of like making this a black wall that leads up to where the building is, maybe the building actually needs to start down here on this side and be up there on that side. I don't know why this is just now occurring to me. Like one way or the other, the interior was kind of becoming that, but I mean, I never really thought about it from the exterior standpoint, and now I think that makes a lot of sense. All right, so what I've got in mind, I'm actually taking inspiration from, of all places, Harry Potter. Now, well, a couple weeks ago, gosh, I mean, maybe it was a couple of months ago at this point, was kind of doing a watch through of the Harry Potter franchise. I've never actually done that before. I've seen the Harry Potter movies, but I've never actually like watched them front to back. And so it was really cool, you know, going through and watching those films. They were really influential in my sister's life, especially. And so kind of getting an appreciation of what she's into and that sort of thing was kind of cool. But regardless, I noticed that I think it's the Ministry of Magic has kind of this motif of black, white, and then also red and green. And so and they kind of have like these like office buildings that kind of bubble out a little bit. And so I thought, it'd be kind of cool maybe to do something a little bit like that. I don't know. That's the thought process at the moment. So the idea is that these things, they're gonna kind of bubble out a little bit. And the funny thing is, this style, or these kind of bay windows, I guess is what you technically call them, is something that I'm going to end up using again in my base for when I make the City of York pub. But for right now, we're going to see about using them here and see how it works. Okay, so maybe it's more like, okay, this, and this, and this. Okay, and then let's go 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You get the idea. Boom, boom, boom. And yeah, like a little bay window like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. That's pretty good. And then we just kind of do a couple of these up and down the side here. And actually, you know what? I think I'm going to see if I can do that in a time lapse. We're going to give it a try. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm done, and apparently this little, like, the top edge here is too tall because it has created quite the little mob spawning area that we need to deal with very, very quickly. Otherwise, we have unleashed monsters onto Gotham City, which is the exact opposite of what we want to do. But that little problem notwithstanding, we've made some significant progress here, so I really like how this turned out. It's a lot bigger than I realized it was going to be. Let's see. It's not, yeah, I mean, that thing is kind of huge when you look at it from the side here. I was noticing as I was going back and forth, getting supplies and then coming off the trolley, I mean, it's like, it's really big. And at the moment, it kind of looks like a wall, which kind of works because it does act as a little bit of both a barrier and connection point between the shopping district and the corporate district. And, you know, with like everything going on in the background there, this is really, Gotham is really coming together pretty awesomely. Man, I'm kind of, you know, ooh. Okay, I know I always talk about how we have these big team projects we haven't even scratched the surface with yet, and it's true, but I think we're having so much fun with the city that like it's kind of been hard to get going on it. But we've got this kind of big open space for what'll probably be Wayne Manor. I'm thinking, I don't know. Maybe Wayne Tower should be here. I don't know. There's just a lot to consider as we kind of keep going through. But this is the main thing right here. So yes, it kind of acts as a barrier between the two. And as you can see, we've got these bay windows for potential future office space and that sort of thing. And I'm thinking what we need to do, and this is kind of it's a discussion with Fox at the moment, but I don't know if we need to wait until we have a new mayor or what. But what I'd kind of like to do is I would like to extend this out just a little bit, or rather kind of flatten this out right here and maybe put like a little pavilion type deal and then clear out all of this land. Actually, probably all of this land, and then have a little walkway going this way and a walkway going this way down into the shopping district. And so that would give us some more space to open up some more shops and kind of let things be a little bit more fluid. Hopefully it would make this area over here, which is technically part of the shopping district and able to be purchased, but it's so tucked away that nobody's going over there. So I think if we were to like clear this all out, that might open up the opportunity for some more shops. And yeah, that would be knocked out. So that would be a place for a new shop or that sort of thing. Or maybe we just kind of reduce it. Maybe I could talk to Knight, because we could always just put the Valenco wheat a little bit lower. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe the city could acquire Valenco wheat or something of that nature. I don't know. And turn it into, it's essentially been a privatized public offering that Valenco is kind of given to the city. So there might be something there. But in order to do any of that, we need city government, and that means we need voting. And so that's really probably the next thing that needs to go in here. Whew, it's tough. So I'm thinking what needs to happen next is I need to clear out all the dirt. You can kind of see this is the top of the post office right here. And, you got kind of the back end system that makes the post office work down here. You can see all that. I always feel a little nervous whenever kind of exposing redstone like this, because it's almost like you're just kind of asking for a creeper to come through and just destroy everything. So we need to make sure that everything is very, very well lit. But over here we have a little bit more space, because over here, that's the back of the bank right here. So this is the back of the bank vault. What we could theoretically do is we could have it so that that's like a little entryway. This could be essentially like a little hall down here, or maybe even a stairwell. I'm not quite sure, but basically this whole back area could be kind of the main mayoral office of sorts, or maybe it's a meeting room. I'm not sure. And so if that's the case, if this area over here, because it has more space, because the bank is smaller than the post office, and we kind of clear this out and turn these into a bunch of different offices, maybe over here is actually where we need to put the voting booth. And so the idea is that maybe you walk through here. Yeah. So what ends up happening is you kind of emerge through here if you're coming from the shopping district, or if you're already in the corporate area, you kind of come over here and you walk through here, and then this will end up being where we put the voting booth, which means this needs to be big enough to be able to house it and tall enough to be able to house the redstone that's going to make it work. We'll probably give this a nicer floor, or maybe some carpet. Yeah. Okay, these windows are really going to be here more for the look on that side than the benefit on the inside right here, I think. But one thing's for sure, I think for today we're probably done with what we're going to be able to accomplish as part of this update. There we go. I think that's lit enough that we should be fine. We have a lot of grass just lying about the place, and that's probably just going to be the way it is for the moment, and that'll be okay. This is a construction zone. It doesn't look nearly as nice as this construction zone going on right here, but at the same time, it does, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're going to get there. It's going to be great when it's all said and done. Now, a few things that I noticed while I was working. For one thing, it looks like the mayoral race is, in fact, kind of kicking up a little bit here. So vote Yip the Arctic Fox for mayor because I'm fluffy. So Fox is running for mayor. I'm running for mayor, the right captain for the ship, because my gamer tag is Captain Jorvik. So there you go. And then Kyle is running for mayor. He will not fail this city. So this is great. We've got a little bit of competition going on right now. So that's exciting stuff. I've also noticed that I got some mail. The Gotham Gazette has put out its first issue. And, I won't read the whole thing, but suffice to say, they have taken note that our League or Legion of Heroes has in fact come to Gotham City. It appears they have a quote from me, or at least someone posing as me. It says Captain Jorvik, so I can't speak to that. But it says, I'm mainly stationed out of New York Town, which is a suburb of Gotham, but I have investments here, both personal and financial, and I can't let the city slide into decay. I and the other members of the LOH are friends to Gothamites everywhere, which is true. So that's really great to see. Now, this is interesting. It says Dr. Alien appears to be in trouble. Vicky Vale wrote a story about the fact that we got that message that said help over our theater. And this is something that we need to be kind of keeping an eye on. For one thing, Dr. Alien is a merchant and philanthropist, and we'd love to see that. And the other thing, too, is I'm starting to think that something's going on with Dr. Alien. I mean, obviously something's going on with Dr. Alien, but what I mean is that I have a theory, and you know what? I think this theory is best explored in the League of Heroes headquarters. So let's go check it out. In an effort to help out my fellow heroes, I have started to gather up my own personal notes from what I've observed around the city and just Earth 3 as a whole. So with Dr. Alien, I'm starting to think that he needs help, and specifically that he might be impacted by multiple personalities. This is just a theory right now, because there's just so much going on with Dr. Alien that it seems as though we're not dealing with the same person, or we're dealing with the same person with a lot of different persons within that person. I don't know. It's just a theory. Obviously, Belle's on the case. And, oh, look. It appears that Belle Shack's journal? Well, let's see what this is all about.
Shack's journal, February 3rd. Something isn't adding up, but I can't put my beard on it. Dr. Alien is not acting like himself. It's almost as if he has a split personality, or as if there is someone masquerading as him. For example, I have found mustache-making materials in Dr. Alien's base. This confirms that he is indeed the Mustache Bandit. Of course, the other heroes failed to see Alien's strange behavior. They are too caught up in their quest for truth and justice. But not I. I have seen the places between places, traveled deep into my mind's eye. I've seen that Dr. Alien's throne room has mysteriously disappeared. There is something rotten in the city, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
All right. Well, it would seem that Belle shares my same suspicions. So interesting. Okay. Good to know. I've also let's see. We got Kyle working the Valenco case. I let him know that purple sheep now are starting to appear in New York Town. So I want to make sure he's aware of that. Trying to help out with this. Fox, I'm starting to think that we've been sleeping on Fox. I think that Fox might be one of the greatest supervillains of our time. I originally it was just like, oh, Fox is turning green though, and now it's like, Fox might be destroying the city though. I think there's a black hole forming over Fox's HQ. Help us, Snow. And so so there we go. And then of course Wilmart. The test proves that it's a good company. So yeah, when we meet as a group, we'll need to clear this out and maybe take a look at what our next steps need to be as a hero league, because there does seem to be a lot of things going on here. The fact of the matter is, I thought the Riddler was not Dr. Alien because of the style he was using to make mustaches and that sort of thing. But now, because now we might be dealing with multiple personalities, Dr. Alien is no longer not a suspect. Everyone is back to being a suspect and who is the Riddler. So yeah, a lot of things going on here. We need to kind of keep our eyes and ears peeled. Oh, I changed my symbol. This was probably noticed in the post office, but I thought I'd try to. You can't really see, but basically I was trying to put my cybernetic implant. I thought was a better way to go than the trident, because everybody has a trident, but not everybody has a cybernetic implant. You can't really see it. I'm trying to turn my head. There you go. You can kind of see it there. Anyway, point is, I decided to change my symbol from that standpoint, and yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. But I do think that is going to do it for us for this week. Hopefully you've enjoyed all of these wonderful updates. We've got a lot to do. There's still a lot more to work to go with the City Hall. We need to get that voting booth. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put my trident on it right now. We need to make sure that we are getting that voting booth done in the next episode so we can go ahead and start getting some free and fair elections to the good people of Gotham, which includes the mayoral election and decisions on our team builds and, all the good stuff that we need to do here in BATCRAFT. That can only happen once we get that voting booth up and running. So I'm going to be working on that. And until next time, goodbye.